So there's three big takeaways from this. Actually, so the biggest like highlight overview thing here is that one, biomaterials are like at the critical intersection of being able to decarbonize the global economy. Materials actually matter, and that using bio-based materials and the carbon storage potential of those materials is one of the most impactful mechanisms of drawing carbon down out of the atmosphere. So that felt really big. There's basically three main sort of strategies they outline. Avoid the extraction and production of raw materials by galvanizing a circular economy. Shift to regenerative material practices whenever possible using ethically produced low-carbon earth and bio-based building materials. And improve methods to radically decarbonize conventional materials such as concrete, steel, and aluminum, and only use these non-renewable carbon-intensive extracted materials when absolutely necessary. So this is kind of like the reduce, reuse, recycle thing. We're recycling and like 14% of plastic is now recycled and we've like stalled out there for a generation. And like what we don't want to see is like just looking at that last point and be like, all right, decarbonizing materials, we're done. Like that's the third point. So all the work we're doing right now to reduce the carbon intensivity of these really high intensive architectural materials, like yes, that critical, important, good. And also that's like step three and part of a larger multi-step strategy for what it actually means to decarbonize the built environment. So biomaterials, what I want to be super clear about is that it's not about the technology in isolation. There is a version of this where we take a bunch of bio-based materials that are, for all practical purposes, petrochemicals that have been churned through the conventional agricultural system into organic matter. And then that gets combined with a bunch of like urea, formaldehyde, and other plastic crap and turned into a bio-based material. That is, let's just be super clear that that is not what we're talking about. And just the fact that it's made from an organic compound does not make it a legitimate, like carbon storing regenerative, like solution. So getting a sense of what does agriculture mean on the left here, where it's extractive and exploitative and resource depleting and, sort of filling out all of the existing colonialist approach to resource management that's got us into this problem, versus a model in which we're sort of integrated within a holistic nature-based, multi-value, sort of ecosystem forward approach to biomaterials. And so that sounds like heady and conceptual. And now there's an international body of research that validates this as like quite legitimately the difference between what it means using bio-based materials to reduce the carbon impact of our work. So I'm going to pull some quotes out of here because they said it really well. Bio-based materials may represent our best hope for radical decarbonization through the responsible management of carbon cycles.